Yo, this is James Lights Out Tony, the one and only. You are tuning into Philly Fight World. You see me? BAM!
What up, everybody? Welcome back to another session of Philly Fight World with none other than Blake Anthony and Rassoul, your Philly Fight World enthusiasts, condensors, traveling around the world, whatever you want to call us. We are around boxing now. And obviously, you see the title. We're going to talk about the Atlantic City Aftermath, because that's damn sure what it was. We're going to talk about, we already talked about pre-fight, what we thought. I said 5. I think Rassoul said 7, and it ended up being 6, so we met in the middle. And then we'll talk about a little bit what we think about what's next for it. So, Rassoul, where you want to start off at?
Yeah, man, it was a great weekend, man. I think everything that we expected.
Yeah.
Great enthusiasm from the fans. Great fight, of course. Lead up to it was very nice. I think promotion-wise, it could have started a little bit earlier, but that last week, go right into the fight. So, fireworks, man. What can you expect?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't a lot of heavy trash talking between the two. I think two had mutual respect. I think both of them different points in their career, but both of them had their eyes set on the goals and what they wanted to achieve coming into that match. And the 6-1 favorite Boots obviously came together in six rounds. That's all it took to win that unified belt and Ring Magazine belt. But as we talk about it, we could talk about, how the setting looked like. How did you feel in that environment?
It was good. It was a good environment for a fight. It has, we talked about before, the building has its nostalgia to it from great fights. Mayweather's to the Gotti. And that's something that Boots talked about. And when he talked about his legacy, of course, how great fights been in that business, been in that building, and it was a good atmosphere. Of course, it was a pro Boots crowd because Jersey isn't too far from Philadelphia, Atlantic City, far from Philadelphia. So the crowd was out for him. You had a lot of stars in the crowd. You had a lot of athletes. And so it lived up to the hype.
No, it definitely did. It definitely lived up to the hype. It was exactly as advertised. And I was trying to show everybody some clips of, what the environment was. You saw the crowd. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the clips in the fight, too, once we break into it. But like I said, it's pretty much what it was. Everybody thought he would win the fight, and he won the fight.
Yeah. So. And I know I expected it to be a little bit closer. And I think a lot of.
Did you, though?
Boxing. I think a lot of boxing experts, as they thought it was going to be a closer fight. But, right now, Boots is at the top of his game.
Yeah, especially when he led with the jab. You try to use the uppercuts and the body shots. So, which is crazy because a lot of those matches that night and the undercards were all ended by body shots. We'll talk about the fight. We'll just, pull up some of the clips of the fight. I think it was after, this moment, Boots kind of went down because Mantis pushed him in the back of the head. Obviously, it didn't count as a knockdown. And then Boots decided led with the jab. You said, Aaron said, Bosey said, Boots is hard to beat when he leads with the jab. Coming up to the fight, we'll talk a little bit about the way Stanionis is fighting. We talked a little bit about Suicide and the guy that he fought preparing for the fight. Has similar fighting styles. As you can see, got the hands up, Mike Tyson style, charging in the fight. And Boots was ready for it. The camp was well prepared for Stanionis. Boots
well prepared. I like you spoke on with his jab.
See, Boots is feeling himself.
What makes him special is that he has power in both left and right hand. And so he can switch back and forth from southpaw to traditional right hand at ease. And the jab is just as good with the left as it is with the right.
Yeah, I think you mentioned, and I think Aaron mentioned into that fight, Boots switched from right hand to southpaw. A lot of people didn't even notice it. He did it effortlessly because he's so used to doing it the way Bozy trained him since he was young. He switched back and forth, and I think it kind of threw Stanionis off a little bit. Plus, Boots was obviously a little faster than Stanionis, and honestly, a little more agile. Like I said, Stanionis, you said several times, is a European fighter. They come in there with the hands up, throw those overhand rights, kind of like they threw a slew of punches, and but he ended up fighting a boxer this match and ended up losing.
Definitely. And like I said, that's what makes Boots so special. And the scary part of it is he's just reaching his prime. He's not even in his prime yet. So what you're seeing him right now is you're seeing like a young Roy Jones, young Floyd, where it's just athleticism, speed, and so he just has those special traits that those great have. So anyone who fights right now, it's going to end up in a fight.
Right. It's I see why Boots reminded everybody on why they don't want to fight him. He just looked unstoppable in this match. Anybody who watched this just saw that Boots was just a dominant force in this game. I know a lot of people have, in boxing, what's the old phrase? You got a puncher's chance. You always have a puncher's chance. One punch can change the aspects of the fight. But in this match, Eimantas Stanionis landed some blows. I don't think it really fazed Boots too much, in my opinion. I feel like Boots' power was overpowering Stanionis in this match, and what happened to him in that fifth round when he went down. Obviously, Stanionis didn't want any more parts of it. His corner felt like he shouldn't continue or whatever he told them or whatever it was, but it wasn't well enough to keep going. But let's talk about some other fun part. The fight is one thing. So everybody's like, what's next? Everybody, what's the next thing? And let's bring up some things to talk about it. What Brian Norman had to say and what Bozy had to say. Check this out.
So, shoot, same thing I told my boy Jen, man, if y'all send me the contract, man, let's do it, man. I'm down for it.
Is that the next logical path for you, Brian, is to wait for that winner with Stanionis and Boots, or do you want to go like the Barrios route? Like, how are you looking for the rest of the year?
First thing first, I'm a grown man, so I wait for nobody. So I ain't finna wait on them at all. I still got my own career to attend to. But Barrios over there hiding in the corner doing this little thing or whatever. So where you at, man? I'm trying to get that belt up off of you. Everybody trying to go undisputed out here. You just sitting up here babysitting. So now I need to go in and get that up off on and shoot, go undisputed with whoever wins the fight April 12th, I believe.
Yeah. Who do you have winning?
I can't really decide. They both champions for a reason, so hey, only God knows.
As a fight fan, how do you see that fight?
I really don't watch them, so I can't say. That's why I said only God knows.
Why not watch those guys? They're in your division.
I watch my opponent when I need to. For example, Derek Cuevas, I don't care about him, but as soon as he signed this contract, boom, I'm on him. So whenever I fight anybody, boom, I'm on you. Once again, I'm the assassin. Once I sign that contract, all eyes is on you.
Thoughts on what Norman had to say? He kind of ducked and dodged that question.
He ducked and dodged it very much. So, not to say that he's. So I don't even want to put that. But he didn't specifically get a name. Of course, he the answer he gave was whoever wins between Boots or Stanionis, but that wasn't really answering the question. Everyone knows that the fight is him and that's the fight. That was the fight last year, and that's the fight today. So he didn't really want to specifically say. And like you said earlier, 6-1 odds, everybody had Boots in this fight. Mainly. So I would love to hear his answer today. And you know, they get that match going. You think it would be good? I mean, I think I know who you would pick in that fight. And the mass majority of, you know, who people would pick. But we'll see. It'll be a good, exciting lead up to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice story leading up to it. And Norman said in a couple clips that he's been quiet in 2025, and he said he had a hit list, and the first name he had on the hit list was Boots. He said that man in Philadelphia. But he did, in that clip, he did mention a name. He said he wanted to fight a particular fighter, but he avoided the Boots question. So Norman kind of got an idea of who he really wants to fight. I don't necessarily think it's Boots. Obviously, he's going to say what he's going to say so he don't look soft in front of everybody. I mean, it's the game. It's the game we play in 2025 boxing. So let's see what Bozy had to say. I know you were really close with Bozy, go to the camp all the time, the gym. Let's see what he had to say in response to that immediately after the fight that you and I were in. See what he had to say.
What is next? A lot of people said about Brian Norman Jr. You
man, I don't even want to keep on talking about him, man. They just run their mouth so much, man. I don't even like to address that, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Bozy, just want to say well done on the win tonight. Appreciate the time, and I'm sure you enjoy it. Thank you.
If you know him, that's a typical response from him into that matter. You can speak on it. You know him very well.
Well, as you said, and I believe him 100%, they're tired of the talk. You know, if you want to negotiate the fight, that's one thing. But if you want to go on the internet and campaign about this and that, I mean, that's a whole nother game, and that's not something that either that Boots or his father Bozy do. You know, that's not them. So hopefully this time around, Ryan and his father get serious about negotiating. And really, they can just come together and make this fight happen. It's an easy fight to make. You know, I mean, it's unification ball. So it's a win-win for whoever wins the fight. If you're confident enough.
Yeah, I mean, the only other one is, Barrios. You got Ortiz Jr. I mean, it's Brian Norman, Mario Barrios, Ortiz Jr., of course, Bud Crawford. Those are other possible fights. We'll see, what shakes up. People are waiting to see these fights, like what's next. Still early in 2025, what we going to get in the later half of the year, whatever fight we're going to get. Who do you think besides Norman would be his next match? I mean, do you think he fights Barrios, Ortiz, or possibly move up to fight Crawford? So obviously Crawford's not coming down.
Yeah, I definitely know. I'm pretty sure it won't be Crawford. Crawford is in line to fight Canelo later this year. I mean, Barrios is the other belt holder in that welterweight division, so hopefully something could be made there, but they've tried to fight Barber for the last 2 years, and he's kind of walked on everything. So.
Dancing around too. I think these guys know who they want to. I think these guys know who they want to fight. Like I said, I think they're playing the game and waiting for opportunities to play. Rumors are having it now with what's the guy's name? The gentleman that was there, did the weigh-in and all this stuff. What's his name? I forgot his name. The tall gentleman.
Oh, Tom Brown?
Not Tom Brown, the other one that was doing all the announcing and everything. I had his name in my head, and I just totally lost it.
The promoter.
Yeah, but whatever. Anyway, he said it's possibly Spence might come out and fight Barrios. There's a rumor of that possibly happening. Spence coming out of hiding and coming out and fighting Barrios from a non-title fight. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, you got Spence who hasn't fought in almost for 2 years now. Last time we seen him, it wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good. And, you know, even the time, I mean, the man's coming from a bad car accident. I didn't think he should have fought anyway. The outcome was just what I expected. And it's tough. I mean, the Spence that we know, like I said, prime Spence, talking about 5 years. To have him come back against fight against Barrios, maybe he's Barrios, but we still haven't seen him. So it's kind of hard to judge it, to weigh him, unless we see him.
Right.
I would like to see him fight just a tune-up fight, somebody less caliber. See how he looks in the public, and see how he looks, and then go from there. Just to jump in against Barrios, or at the time, right, in a non-title fight. And at the time, I mean, you remember last year, he was supposed to fight Fundora.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm glad he didn't take that. That was a tough fight for him. About 2 years out of the game, trying to come back. If he's going to fight again, I'd like to see him with a lesser opponent. See what happens.
Only fight can tell, but look, at that time, but the tale of this story, Ennis versus Stanionis has been closed 6 rounds. Stanionis' corner refused to let him go back out, and the rest is history. Now we wait on what is next. Rassoul, got any final thoughts before we get up out of here?
Oh man, just happy everything turned out the way it did. A great night for fighting. A lot of we didn't talk too much about the undercard.
You talking about your favorite?
Yeah, there was someone who I was looking forward to seeing. He did a good job. That was Tamir Small. I mean, took his guy out. The one.
That's what you always call him, the one.
There you go. And so I'm real interested in his future and what comes up next for him. But like I said, the undercard wasn't too exciting for me. Especially the co-main event, which was
oh Lord,
the Chief. Oh goodness.
That's not worth mentioning.
Right, and no disrespect to Ford, because I think Ford came to fight.
No, he tried to fight, but
it's hard to fight when someone else doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, like I said, like you said, he said it best. No disrespect to him. It was just, it was what it was, man. He just had to ride that one out. The right man won the match, and that's pretty much all I've really got to say about that. And
that's it.
And like you said, Tamir, you've always said that he's the one. I wish we would have saw it live, but we saw what we needed to see in that fight. I know, right?
Which wasn't much.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it was short-lived. We'd have been to the snack bar. Took more time getting to the snack bar than the fight. But yeah, those are fights. Looking forward to seeing that some more. Tamir and the rest of the gang. Boots camp fight. It was nice meeting everybody and seeing all that. And I'm looking forward to whatever's next, Vegas or whatever we're going. We'll keep talking here right on Philly Fight World. Expect more content. Expect me and Rassoul to be out posting stuff all the time from the gym, belts, rumors, things like that. What's true, what's not true. And we'll all cover that right here on Philly Fight World. And that's as we always do, with Big James Tony taking us home.
Yo, this is James Lights Out Tony, the one and only. You are tuning into Philly Fight World. You see me? Bam!